We are so lucky to be living in the times of Naseeruddin Shah on stage. We are one of the luckiest generations. I cannot play an 80-year-old man on camera, but on stage I can. So that joy every actor should at least experience once. The suspension of disbelief is much more in theatre. I think the history of theatre says that we always had a lot more audience that we have right now. And wow, this conversation is actually reminding me how badly I want to be on stage again.
Hello, Ritwik.
Hi, Gargi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. I'm good.
So first, I want to start with congratulating you on your amazing performance in Jehanabad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Now, moving aside from this, as you know, today is World Theatre Day. So
Yes.
our conversation today will revolve solely around theatre. So
Okay.
please walk us through your theatre journey. What made you immerse in the world of theatre?
Wow. This is going to be nostalgic. I think I was 9 years old, and I was in 8 or 9 years old, and I was in Bombay at that point of time. I still am. Um, and I think the first play I performed was for a Bengali association that was celebrating Durga Puja and had like performances and events every day because that's like a 6 day thing. And I remember performing in so the first play I did was a Bengali play. I don't remember the name of it. And then I moved on to live in Bangalore, and I was studying in Bangalore, and we had a dramatic club in school, and yeah, so we did a lot of theatre there, right from Peter Pan to Shakespeare to everything. I remember the last play we attempted was Macbeth, and till date, it is my favorite play ever written. Like I cannot find a better play, a play that moves me that much. But I remember in recent times, I think in the past 10 years, if I've read a play and I've felt that good about reading it, uh, was probably the latest Harry Potter book that came out. It's called The Cursed Child, and it's a play. It's not really a novel. It's a play written in a book, and I thought that was beautiful. So yeah, plays have just been around me for so long, and I've just been such a huge fan of right from Bernard Shaw to importance of being earnest. So many plays. Like I remember as a child, we went through so many classes, and not really classes because we used to just get together, and there was a supervising teacher who used to make sure that this dramatics club is doing something, this dramatic society is up to something good and not wasting their time. So we used to read plays, exchange notes, and make our own plays. Uh, I think by the time we were 13, 14, 15, we were all writing our own plays, and we were really not adapting from any writer anymore. Does not mean that we were making good plays. We were making very bad plays, and they were very stupid plays. But we were just happy they were original and they were written by us. So yeah, all my school life, right, as I said, from the age of 9 till the age of 17, I've been on stage almost twice every year, or at least once every year, to perform, whether it's in a competitive form or just as an entertainment form or a presentation form. Uh, After that, Shamak Dawa happened to me, dancing happened to me. So I was still on stage, but I wasn't doing a lot of theater until I became, I think I was 21 and I got out of acting school. And then again, a group of friends got together and we started our own theater company and we used to just perform for people. And try and write originals, but many a times it was rip-off of things that we've seen. And today I can confidently say that 10 years down the line that, yeah, we were ripping off things, but back then we were very, no, this is not a copy of anything. This is original. And we used to be on stage. And we've taken what not. We've compiled 5 plays of Shakespeare and turned it into one and made a comedy out of it. We've taken, there's a film called The Terminal with Tom Hanks in it and made by Ron Howard. And we were all huge fans of that film. And then we made a play out of that about a man coming from a fictional land who speaks only in gibberish, has landed up in India and gets stuck at an airport and what happens. So I think that was the last play I did. That was 6 years ago at least. And the play was called Charlie and the Tin Can. Did a few shows in Bombay, did quite well, yeah. But now, now I don't think we're going to attempt any more rip-offs and see what stories we have by ourselves originally.
That's really interesting. I would really like to know, you said that you started doing theatre when you were 9. So please share some anecdote or, a strong memory that you have of those days.
Oh my God, so
Because
many.
I remember in one of your interviews, you said that you met your best friend while during a theatre production,
Oh
right?
yes, Yes. That was. I think we were grown up by then. I was again 2021-ish, and I was doing production for a fantastic theater company called the Company Theater, run by Atul Kumar, and they've made fantastic plays like Pia Behrupia and so many more. Trivial Disaster and Noises Off. So these guys have made like fantastic plays, and I was doing production for this company, and there was this new intern. Not really an intern because it wasn't really a formal company, but a new person who's walked in and said that I'm supposed to do production here. I've come here to volunteer. And me being the senior guy who's been around for like a year doing theater production, I said, "ठीक है, देख लेंगे क्या है. If there's some work, I'll let you know." And she was what? She was, I think, at least 4 years younger than I was. So I was playing the older card also, and also the senior in the company card. And yeah, that's how we met. We started working together, and our duty actually fell together right outside the auditorium. We were not even watching the play, right outside the auditorium where we had to like check everybody's tickets and basically usher people in. And the two of us got talking, and today we're the best of friends. We can't live without each other. Like we have to confess everything about what's happening in our lives to each other.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Theater becomes a training ground for actors where you get training on speech, uh, body movements, expressions, so that actors can easily switch to different mediums after that, right? So, how being a theater artist has helped in your camera/cinema acting.
So I've realized that there is a lot of similarities and yet a few differences between performing for stage and performing for camera. And they're very slight differences. And many a times, if you don't even know it, it's absolutely fine. But if you're aware of it, then apply it, because I realized that while observing and watching Nasir sir, because he does that quite often. I realized that by reading and hearing from greats like Marlon Brando and everybody who said so much about theater and said so much about cinema and done both, equally well. I do feel that every actor should at least be on stage, is because minus all the philosophy and ideology behind it, just because that feeling of performing to a live audience and what you feel when you see the responses in the split second of you performing, and yet not getting distracted, yet being there, being the character, and that feeling is something else altogether. You can probably feel a similar thing with the camera. A lot of people say that I'm camera conscious. It's probably that's because they're aware of the camera. uh, so you can feel that kind of nervousness, but the kind of feedback, the outcome that you see, because inside a theater, inside an auditorium, it's four walls, and within the four walls, I remember one of my teachers telling me this: imagine everything that you perform is water. So everything the actors on stage are giving as an outlet is flowing towards the audience, and it hits back on the last row, on the last wall where the auditorium ends, and it comes flushing back towards you, because that water is just stuck within those four walls. That experience of a live performance can be felt nowhere. So I think every actor should experience that once. And two, what happens when you do different plays is the suspension of disbelief is much more in theater. Like people come into a theater, could watch a 17-year-old play a 40 or 50-year-old man with chalk on his eyebrow and like a shriveled body and dhoti and a kurta, and people would still believe it. They would still go with it, and they would want to watch the performance and see what happens. That happens in theater. So actors get the liberty to do whatever they want. You truly can finally figure a way out to transform yourself. ये सारी बातें हम सुनते हैं as actors, that this actor lost himself in the character or herself in the character, and they transform themselves into somebody else. When you're doing shows or films for platforms or for screens and so on and so forth, उतना आपको liberty मिलता नहीं है, because at the end of the day, the disbelief is not that much. People come in with the idea of, I need to believe you. So are you believable? Are you real? Are you being yourself? And these are very new terms. These terms have nothing to do with acting altogether. When you go to an acting school, they don't teach you how to be real. They teach you how to play parts. They teach you how to understand text. They teach you how to act, basically, and not be real, be you. That's more like therapy. But the audience expects these things nowadays. So on camera, I cannot play an 80-year-old man on camera, but on stage I can. So that joy every actor should at least experience once, because then later on, when you move on to camera, hopefully that will be the gradual next step, you realize that you cannot transform yourself, or have the liberty to change yourself as much. You've got to stick into the fine line of who you are and how you want to portray the character, or who the character is and how can he imbibe in me. So that much liberty we don't have, but because the training of theater remains, you know there's something called body language, you know there's something called vocal intonations, you know there is something called understanding motive, understanding status and so on and so forth. And these words are, in general life, status and motive and all of that can differ from what it means in a performance. So you use all of that knowledge that you've taken from theater, and then you put it on a scene and you see if it works, it works. Otherwise, the director will ask you to calm down and say, theater wali acting mat karo. जो कह रहे हो उतना करके छोड़ो.
So you worked with Nasir sir, Shiva ma'am, Atul Kulkarni sir, and Rajat Kapoor sir in Jehanabad.
Yeah.
So, like, how was the experience of working with such great theater veterans like?
It was insane. But the best thing, or the happiest thing for me after having worked with all of them, is the understanding, the realization of the fact that no matter how young, old, or how much experience you have, or you do not have, or you've just come, or you've been there, no matter which bracket you fall in, you realize that everybody who's stepped a foot on stage has the same joy for acting. It's so similar. Everybody, like, I think Atul sir, Shiba ma'am, Rajesh sir, Naseed sir, Amit sir, Rajat sir, as you said, everybody that I've worked with, everybody that I've met, I've seen that all of them share the same level of passion and happiness for what they do. None of them have stepped foot into acting as a job. कि ये मेरा काम है, मैं सुबह आता हूँ, I finish my work, I stay there for 8 hours, I go back home, go to my family, which is a very good way of approaching life for sure. But these guys are mad. And they look like ये स्टेज पे थे, इन्हें पता है कि स्टेज पे होने का, परफॉर्म करने का मजा क्या होता है, and they're really hooked on to this happiness that they found in their art. And that's how they approach everything. They walk into a set with that much love, with a smile on their face, and you look at them and you realize, okay, this man is, or this woman is really happy about what she's doing or what he's doing. And that's exactly how we feel, because for us it's so new. For me, just doing shows and doing films right now is so new, because it's only been 3 years. So I come in with that much energy, yeah, this is going to change my life. And then I look at them and I feel like, oh, 1 second, they all approach their work like that. It's beautiful. It's brilliant.
In the same vein, are you at ease when you work with, people associated with theater or people who have done theater before? Do you feel at home with them?
Not just theater. They could be actors from any platform of performance. Uh, but I just feel that any actor who truly enjoys what he or she is doing, I really gel along with them. I'm very well with them. I actually become friends with them very easily, is because, again, I get to know that we are sharing the same kind of passion. We are sharing. I don't know if passion is a very heavy word, but same interests in life. That's how you become friends in life also, minus your career, your profession. You meet people who share similar interests and similar kind of humor, and that's how we become friends with each other. And I guess on a set, it's much easier to make friends with people who share same interests, similar interests, and similar kind of humor. And that's something that really works. And I also have a lot of confidence when I work with actors like Atul sir, or Nasir sir, or Shiba ma'am, is because I know that if I'm in a frame with them, the scene is going to be good anyway. And people are going to think, wow, ladke ne bhi achhi performance de di. So I get damn happy when I get to know I'm getting to perform with the likes of them. And I remember in Jahanabad when I got my first day of shoot with Rajat sir, and Rajat sir was being this senior from college and cracking jokes and pulling my leg, and I was very excited that I'm getting to perform with him, and I didn't have a lot to do. Um, and that scene came out quite well, and today people are saying that you performed so well in that scene. I was in the moment, for I was sitting there as an audience to watch Rajat Kapoor perform. The fact is that these guys perform so well that even if you just play off what they're doing, you look like you're a good actor. So I always look forward to working with them, always.
Right. Now, I really want to know that, you're of course very busy with shooting different web series and, feature films. But do you feel like you want to go back to theater, or, like the one thing that you miss the most about theater?
I'll answer both of them. Yes, I recently actually, from the last 8-10 months, I've been toying with the idea that I want to go back on stage again because I miss that feeling. And Rajit sir, Mr. Rajit Kapoor, who was in Majama, who played Barkha's father in the film, and he is making a play, and he told me that I would love to have you be a part of it. So right now I'm thinking, I don't know, he's also thinking, he's still writing it. So we are talking to each other about doing a play, but I don't know if it's going to happen and how soon it's going to happen. But I really hope to set a foot on stage again, and soon, hopefully. I don't know when, but yeah, I do. And what was the second thing you asked?
The one thing
What do
that,
I miss?
yeah.
Oof, so many things. I miss so many things. I miss every little detail. I miss exit stage left and enter stage right. I miss catching the light, hitting the right spot and saying your line. I miss every little thing about being on stage because it used to be my happy place. And probably if I go back, it'll still be. But I miss it. I miss it a lot. It's been quite some time. Wow, this conversation is actually reminding me how badly I want to be on stage again. But yeah, I love everything about it. I've done everything for stage. I've swept the floors, served chai, cleaned carpets, made furniture, made sets with hammers and nails and wood, and done everything. Stitched costumes, done makeup for people, done makeup for self, acted on stage, done lights for stage, sound. So yeah, I miss everything about being on stage. I really do.
I hope that you get a chance to step on stage soon.
I hope so too. Very soon. I hope.
Fingers
Let's see
crossed.
soon.
Now, moving on, could you please share your thoughts on the theater culture in our country? Like, do you feel over the years the audience is becoming more receptive towards watching plays compared to, say, when you started off?
No, I think the history of theatre says that we always had a lot more audience that we have right now. Whether that was for Marathi theatre, Gujarati theatre, not so much Hindi theatre, but Hindi theatre also, Parsi theatre, uh, theatre down south. We've always had a humongous population watching theatre, which has subsided over the years because there are more newer forms of entertainment that is easily available, right from cinema to television to now phones and laptops and so on and so forth. Uh, but I do believe that the conversations about theater are back again thanks to the internet. Thanks to the Gen Zs who are so woke, who speak about everything that they miss or everything that they hope they would have experienced in the years gone by. They bring back those conversations, they talk about it, and they try and find art and artists in every nook and corner of this country today, and they share it with their friends, with their followers. So I think conversations about theater, conversations about art in general across the country has gotten better because of the internet. But the number of population watching theater right now is quite low. And I'm saying quite low compared to like 70, 80 years ago, 50 years ago, 30 years ago. But when I was doing theater and today, no, no, I think there has not been a fall in the number, neither a rise in the number. But awareness about theater and who are the people doing theater and what does theater really mean, and having more and more theater festivals and get-togethers and performances, that's happening a lot now. So conversations about theater definitely have gone up thanks to the internet, for sure.
Right. Now, theater as a medium, like you, you portray a character, you're in that space, and a whole world gets created around you. So, and you are in that space for like one and like more than 1 hour sometimes, without any break, without any cut. So, do you find the whole process cathartic?
I mean, catharsis is anyway uh, and a form of expressing your feelings through art. So yeah, being on stage, performing on stage is definitely cathartic. Performing for camera is also cathartic, but it's just that you get to live a tad bit longer than you can live between an action and a cut. You know,
Mhm.
you're from the first last bell ringing in a theater to the curtains closing. You live a longer life as the character. So I guess what you're saying does make sense, that if you're living it for longer and getting so many more chances to do it back to back, because nobody really does one show, nobody stops at one show. So 10-20 perform मतलब 10-20 shows perform करने के बाद एक ही किरदार के, तो definitely you will feel cathartic
Right.
because there's so much that goes on, and there's so much more that you understand the character that you're playing, and in turn the character also tells you a lot about you, if you're really that invested and if you're really performing with your ears open. it can be cathartic. Yes, the experience can be extremely cathartic. That's true.
So you live in Mumbai. So do you often
I
go and
do.
watch plays? Because Mumbai has like a very rich theater culture, you know?
Yes, Mumbai does. Though Delhi has the best theatre culture, I think.
Yeah,
But where are you from? Are you from Delhi?
currently, yes.
So you definitely know the theatre culture there is absolutely beautiful. But Bombay also has a beautiful theatre culture and some fantastic theatre companies and theatre playmakers, writers and directors and producers who've been working in Bombay. And then there's Billa who's helping with Adyam. And so performances are everywhere right now. But what the beauty of Bombay and its theatre lies in Prithvi. Definitely NCPA too, but Prithvi Theatre is where the soul lies. And from the time that I've come back to Bombay from Bangalore, I think every year I make sure that I watch at least. It's not a great number because in a month every actor should at least watch one or two plays. But every year I make sure that I watch one or two plays, and I try and find the best and get all the reviews and ask everybody who's seen it before and then go watch it. But otherwise, Naseer is performing every year, and we make sure that we go and see him no matter what he's doing, whether it's Einstein, whether it's Father or Ismat Abba Kenam. So we definitely go make sure that we go see him every year because we are so lucky to be living in the times of Naseeruddin Shah on stage. It's we are one of the luckiest generations, and never ever should anybody ever miss out on an opportunity when Aziza is performing and it's in your city. So you've got to watch it. Don't miss out because it's a very rare, lucky thing that we are going through. So yeah, but the theater scene in Bombay is beautiful because these stalwarts live here, and this is their home ground, and this is where they create, this is where they experiment, this is where they test the waters, and then move out from Bombay and Mumbai and go on to different cities and different countries and perform their plays. So that's one advantage Mumbai has for sure.
Right. I'm on my last question now. So, do you have a message for our viewers on the occasion of World Theatre Day?
A message for the viewers. Well, firstly, happy World Theatre Day. For everybody who's been on stage and for everybody who's watched stage and everybody who's not experienced it at all, please go out there and experience it because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Not watching a play, but experiencing, as Gargi said, the catharsis of what happens within the four walls of an auditorium when a play is being performed. If you experience it once, I bet you will want to go back again and again and again. I understand that we have our phones, our laptops, our TVs, and our entertainment on our palms, and we don't really have to make more effort to go out there and look for new stories. But trust me, the presentation of stories that happen on stage is something that is unmissable. So, anytime you get an opportunity after your office hours, school hours, college hours, whenever you get like a free weekend, please go out and watch a play. Support artists, support everybody who's there because trust me, theater doesn't pay you much. Theater doesn't even ask for much. So the artists out there are truly artists. They're not there for the money. They're not there for glory or fame. They're there because they enjoy themselves performing. They're there because they believe in the world of storytelling. So go experience them, enjoy theater. And next year on World Theater Day, we'll all discuss what kind of plays you like and what kind of plays I like. Because I'm hoping that this message will go out there and ask population to go out there and watch plays.
Thank you so much. It was so fun interacting with you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.